Golden Delicious. Okay.
Granny Smith.
Oh yeah, I love those. That's one of my favorites. The taste, well the skin, but the taste. Ooh.
These are round. They're a cooking apple.
Okay.
Wine Sap, they're cooking.
Okay.
Grand Delicious, they're an eating apple.
Alright.
And Fuji, they're an eating apple.
I'm at a different apple place and I see some that I already got, like Red Delicious and Gala. Here's Stamen. I think I got Mutsu, kind of a green one for cooking. I don't think I got Jonathan at the last place. That looks like it's an eating apple. I got Fuji. I think I got Stamen. I'll find out. Now here's a new one I don't know if I've ever heard of before. Blushing Gold. They don't have a descriptor. I'm sure it's an eating kind of apple, not a cooking. And here's Jonathan. Again, there's no descriptor. Here's one I've heard of, but you don't see around very much. Cameo.
Is this y'all's wagon? Or did you? No, okay.
And then I've got Jonagold right here. That's one of my favorites. And then we have Gala, which I already had. You're familiar with probably. Rome apples, which are cooking. And then I think we're back to Mutsu. I guess that's how you say it. I think that's a cooking one also. This is where they grade the apples. Someone's bringing in some that have been picked. And from what I understand, they come down the belt. And there's two big crates beside this belt. One is where the apples that don't make the cut go. And then I think over there, yeah, those are bigger. So that's the apples that are good enough to go ahead and package. They told me that these apples they actually use to make applesauce and apple cider. So none go to waste. If it weren't for these guys, there wouldn't be many apples around here. It's the bees. They're making honey right here. Fortunately, they're all enclosed or I wouldn't be here doing this. But they're the pollinators. Very important. There's a rumor that there's this huge spider at SkyTop. I think I found him. He kind of guards the apple orchard, so nothing takes apples unless he lets you. We are walking through the orchard and I see some beautiful apples right here. They're golden. And I also want to point out, if you notice, there's a bunch on the ground. And I've noticed a lot of yellow jackets enjoying the sweetness like human beings. But the thing that we talked about, or that was told to us, is they won't go to waste. They'll use them to either make apple cider or applesauce, or possibly even apple butter. I think they make that too. This section of the orchard, I don't see any apples, but these are really, really young trees. So I'm sure they have to go ahead and plant some, and it takes a few years to actually produce the kind of apple that they can sell. So I see really older trees around here, and I see a lot of young rows of trees. We've been coming to this orchard for years, and it keeps getting bigger and bigger. You can see these weekends, we're at the end of September, going into October. Busy, 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 busy. They do seem to plant their trees all in rows, and they have sections of different kinds of apples. It's beautiful. They have a pond further down. They've got some animals. I know they've got a bamboo forest in here too. That's fun. When my girls were little, they'd play in it. Even in the apple orchard, you find a surprise you weren't expecting. Do you know what kind of tree this is? It's got white bark. Looking at the leaves. Distinct shape. Any guesses? wonder if it looked like this in the Garden of Eden. This is a tree loaded with apples.
I know, we took them off and stuff with it.
Can't resist, guys. Pollination. See the butterfly? He's looking right at us. Oh, there he goes.
I know.
Almost, not quite.
Here's a
That's right.
good place to kind of look at the orchards and see how they have the lines of the trees.
Oh, by the time you get these.
I hope a little bit.
There are tons of people up here. And it gets more and more crowded as this month goes on. Of all the apples, that's my favorite. But alas, they're gone. They come early. They're like one of the first apples, and here's a beautiful tree. And they're gone. Sad.
Hi, I'm Dave at SkyTop Orchard. I'm glad you're here today. We're in Hendersonville, North Carolina. We're at 2,800 feet. We have a 100-acre apple orchard. Understand you have a few questions about apples while you're here.
Question, how long have you been doing this?
We put this orchard in 1967. It's been a commercial orchard since then. Since '81, we turned it into a U-pick or agritainment or entertainment farm, but its emphasis is raising apples.
How many types of apples did you have when you first started?
Have been raising, started with about 8 or 9 varieties. Now we're up to about 30 varieties. When I first started, Granny Smith was a new variety. Red and Golden Rome, Stamen, York, Macintosh were basically the standard. In the last 30 years, they've developed so many more apples, Pink Lady, Honeycrisp, John of Gold, a lot of different apples now to choose from.
Last question, we learned that you don't plant apples by their seeds.
That's right. When I teach my school groups, I ask them, if you take a seed out of an apple and plant it, what do you get? Most youngsters say an apple tree, and that is correct. And then I say, look around you. Is any of you the same? They say, no, we're all different. Well, that's what you get when you plant an apple seed. You don't know what the genetics are in that seed. So you can grow an apple tree, and its fruit can be as varied as very seldom do you ever get the same apple. So you have to graft them. You grow the seed up, and when it gets 2 years old, you graft it with a bud graft, and you grow the variety you want over and over again. So most trees are bud grafted or whip grafted.
Okay.
Or bench grafted.
Ooh, we'll have to look those up.
You'll
Free
have
kind
to
of
look that
grafting.
up.
Well, thank you for your time. We
Sure, no
appreciate it.
problem. Glad you guys were here.
This is a Jonathan apple. It says, well, you already saw, I went around once, but I'm going to get some for us. I think we had some blushing gold. Never had that kind. I can see why they call it blushing gold.
Yes, let's try it.
Let's get a Jonathan.
Let's go over here to get the knife.
We sampled a cameo, and they're a little bit tart, but that makes it good for cooking. So I'm going to get one of those. Ooh, Johnny Gold. Love them. You can bake these too. These are good. These are sort of like Max. And I think that's it.